All right, good morning, YouTube. This is an update on the 30-inch MAXXIS Carnivore tires. They're mounted on Method B grip wheels. This is the newer, I guess, Carnivore. Call it the RT. 30 by 10 on a 14-inch rim. I like these B grips. You can air them down, and B grips are on the inside and outside of the rim. Keeps you from breaking a bead at low pressure. Now, I haven't tested them yet at low pressure, but that's what marketing claims. What I do know about these tires are, after riding them for about 100 miles now, is depending on the trail you're on, if it's a smooth trail, you never really notice how hard these are. Now, I got 15 psi in there. You can always deflate it more. I do like more ground clearance. Right now, the way this 26 RMAX Wolverine sits, I think we're looking at around 13 inches in the front, maybe 12 and a half in the back, something close to that. Believe it or not, though, even with that much ground clearance, you still end up hearing rocks at the bottom on occasion. Again, it depends on the trail you're on. Getting back to these tires, what I realized, if you're on a rocky trail, that's when they could take their toll over the course of the day. Put on 50 miles yesterday, and not knocking these tires, because when you do get into some gobbledygoo mud, they're not fooling around. They're going to dig you out. Now, every tire has its limit, but that's what really, where these tires shine, is they don't have a shallow tread depth. You're looking at over an inch of tread depth, and that is where this turns into a beast in any type of just say foot of mud. Let's just say that deep, they'll get you out. And a lot of times you could be just in two-wheel drive. 2,300 pound side by side, great for relying on them to dig you out of some mess. But all day long, I guess when you mix up the smooth with the rough, by the time 50 miles goes by, you're probably more sore and want to get out of the machine rather than worry about if you're going to run out of gas. Now, you can adjust your shocks and all that. Probably the biggest way to affect comfort is probably, again, lowering the PSI. Right now I'm about 15. I like that because I don't like sidewalls too low in rocky areas. Now, if you were in sand or something like that, I guess you could get away with going much lower. No complaints other than you got to realize what you're buying. The tires are no joke. They're serious business. Not really for comfort, but for, I guess, the nasty stuff. So expect that when you put these 30-inch tires on. It's, again, 1 inch bigger than OEM. They're 29. I think technically this is a little over an inch, like 1.3 inches taller than the OEM 29-inch tire. So 53 pounds, I think. They're roughly 3 pounds heavier than the back tires OEM, but rotating mast, I think they add approximately 12 pounds more over stock tires. I kind of negated a little bit of the weight with putting on a synthetic witch cable and got rid of the steel cable. So gained a little bit with the tires, lost a little bit in the cable. I'm not a fan of really making your machine heavy. I think it just wears and tears excess weight if you can cut down on it. Like, heavy skid plate, you may want to do that unless you're a serious rock crawler and get into the skid plates. Well worth it. Got some new boots. Just to comment on these, very comfortable, good to wear all day long. No different than, say, like a regular work boot. Pretty warm in the springtime. Fit your feet nice. So good to have when you're out there. You can step out into the mud and you're not worried about getting it up in your sneaker. So without making this video any longer, the only other problem I had with this over the weekend was the Adventure Pro lost its GPS signal. So the maps worked, they didn't work. Most of the time they didn't work. And then along with that was the backup camera. I'm not sure what happened there. It was working the first weekend. I took it out the second weekend. No. I would go to back up, nothing. It would have the guidelines back there saying watch your surroundings, but no view of what was behind you. And then today, of course, it worked after it sat all night, and I turned it back on. Well, it did say camera not installed, and I opened up the manual, and it said go to your settings option and choose install camera, and that's what I did. And then the camera, of course, worked again. But I don't know why that happened in the first place. Anybody knows about these Adventure Pros, give me an idea. I don't think that they're removable from the dash. They seem like they're in there hard. This door will open, but to take out the Adventure Pro, I believe it's mounted in there. The dealer had told me that this year you can't remove them, and so I'll just have to believe it. That's accurate information. So anyway, that's all from this video. Have a good one, guys.